Across the tapestry of human history, few creations are as powerful or as telling as the walls we build. From the earliest settlements, we have been driven to draw lines upon the earth, to separate, to protect, to define our territories. These structures, born of stone, earth, and sheer human will, have fascinated us for millennia. They stand as silent witnesses to our greatest ambitions and our deepest fears, serving as formidable defenses against perceived threats, but also as grand symbols of power, ingenuity, and sometimes tragic division. They are the physical manifestations of the lines we draw between us and them, between order and chaos, civilization and the wild unknown. These monumental barriers are far more than just piles of rock and mortar. They are etched with the stories of empires, the struggles of generations, and the relentless march of time. Each stone holds a memory, each tower a vantage point into a world long past. They tell us what we valued, what we feared, and how we saw ourselves in the grand scheme of things. Exploring these walls is to explore the very heart of the human condition, our capacity for incredible creation and at times profound separation. Today we're ranking the top 5 Great Walls of history, and I'll also share why each one still matters today. Join me as we journey across continents and through centuries to stand in the shadow of these colossal achievements. Our journey begins with a structure of such breathtaking scale that it almost defies belief. The Great Wall of China is not a single continuous barrier, but a vast and intricate network of fortifications, watchtowers, and natural defenses stretching across the rugged landscapes of northern China. For centuries, its name has been synonymous with monumental ambition. Its construction was not the work of a single ruler or a single lifetime, but a colossal undertaking that spanned dynasties and evolved over nearly 2,000 years. It is, in essence, a living fossil of Chinese imperial history, a stone dragon winding its way over mountains and through valleys. The initial purpose, conceived during the Qin dynasty under the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, was to create a unified defense against the nomadic tribes of the northern steppe. These horsemen, swift and unpredictable, posed a constant threat to the agrarian heartlands. The wall was a bold, and perhaps desperate attempt to impose order on a chaotic frontier, to create a clear demarcation between the settled, civilized world and the untamed wilderness beyond. It was a statement of power, a line drawn in the earth that declared, "Here our world begins." As dynasties rose and fell, the wall was expanded, rebuilt, and reimagined. The Ming dynasty in particular invested enormous resources into its fortification, creating the iconic stone and brick sections that we are most familiar with today. These were not merely passive barriers. They were active military systems, complete with garrison signal towers that used smoke and fire to transmit messages across vast distances and pathways wide enough for troops and supplies to move swiftly along its spine. The human cost of its construction is, of course, staggering. Legend speaks of countless laborers, soldiers, and convicts who perished during its creation, their bodies reputedly interred within the wall itself. While this is more myth than fact, the sentiment captures the immense sacrifice involved. Millions of lives were poured into this project, their sweat and toil raising this monument from the ground up, stone by laborious stone. Today, the Great Wall's military significance has faded into history, yet its cultural power remains undiminished. It has become a potent symbol of the Chinese nation itself, a representation of its endurance, its unity, and its immense history. To walk along its weathered stones is to feel the weight of centuries, to gaze out upon the same landscapes that soldiers once watched with weary eyes. It is a place where the past feels tangibly present, where the sheer scale of human determination is laid bare against the vastness of nature. Yet its legacy is also a complex one. The Great Wall of China is more than just a wall. It is a sprawling, epic poem written in stone across the face of the land. From the sprawling ambition of imperial China, we travel west to the misty northern frontier of another great empire. Here, in the rolling hills of what is now northern England, stands Hadrian's Wall. Built under the direction of the Roman Emperor Hadrian around 122 AD, this structure is a masterclass in Roman engineering and military strategy. Stretching 73 miles from coast to coast, it marked the absolute northern limit of the Roman Empire, a definitive statement of where Roman order ended and the barbarian lands of the Picts began. It was for a time the edge of the known world. Unlike the Great Wall of China, which was built over many centuries, Hadrian's Wall was a singular, focused project. completed in a remarkably short period of about 6 years. This speaks to the efficiency and organizational power of the Roman military. Legions of soldiers were tasked not just with defending the frontier, but with building it. They quarried the stone, they dug the ditches, they raised the ramparts. Together they created a formidable barrier of stone and turf that cut across Britain. The wall was far more than a simple barricade, a highly sophisticated, multi-layered defensive system. To its north lay a wide, deep ditch. The wall itself, originally intended to be up to 15 feet high, was punctuated by mile castles, small forts spaced at 1 Roman mile. Between each mile castle, 2 evenly spaced observation turrets. This network allowed constant surveillance of the landscape, ensuring movement could be spotted and met with speed. Large forts dotted the line, housing hundreds, sometimes over 1,000, auxiliary troops. These soldiers came from across the empire, Gaul, Spain, Syria, forming a surprisingly multicultural frontier society. Number 3. The Berlin Wall. Our next wall brings us into the recent past, to a structure whose existence is still within living memory for many. The Berlin Wall was not built of ancient stone, nor did it stretch across vast natural landscapes. It was a brutalist scar of concrete, barbed wire, and steel, erected almost overnight in the heart of a bustling modern city. For nearly 3 decades, from 1961 to 1989, it stood as the most potent and chilling symbol of the Cold War, a physical manifestation of the ideological chasm that divided the world. Its construction on the 13th of August, 1961, was a desperate act by the communist government of East Germany. They called it the anti-fascist protection rampart, a preposterous claim that it was designed to keep aggressors out. In reality, its purpose was the exact opposite, to lock its own citizens in. By the late 1950s, East Germany was hemorrhaging its population, as millions of its most skilled and educated people fled to the democratic and prosperous West through the open border in Berlin. The wall was built to stop this exodus and save the East German state from total collapse. What began as a hastily erected barrier of barbed wire and cinder blocks evolved into a terrifyingly complex and deadly fortification. By its final iteration, the Berlin Wall was a system. It consisted of 2 parallel concrete walls, forming a wide corridor known as the Death Strip. Tripwire machine guns, anti-vehicle trenches, beds of nails, floodlights, guards, and hundreds of watchtowers who were given orders to shoot anyone attempting to cross. It was a prison wall on a citywide scale. The human impact was immediate and devastating. Streets were severed, families were torn apart, and a city that had once been a unified whole was fractured. The fall of the wall on the 9th of November, 1989, was as sudden and unexpected as its construction. The scenes that followed were ones of pure, unadulterated joy, as people from east and west embraced, danced on top of the wall, and took to it with hammers and chisels, physically dismantling the symbol of their long division. Number 2, the walls of Constantinople. We journey back in time. A city that was, for over 1,000 years, the heart of an empire, the bastion of Christendom. Constantinople, capital of the Byzantine Empire, protected by the Theodosian walls. Not merely a wall, but a multi-layered masterpiece. It repelled siege after siege, built in the 5th century under Emperor Theodosius II, an expansion of earlier defenses. The city sat on a peninsula, defensible on 3 sides by water. The Theodosian walls sealed the landward side, nearly 4 miles. Their design was defensive genius. A series of obstacles, a wide, deep moat, a low, crenellated wall manned by archers, a wide terrace, an exposed killing ground. The outer wall, about 27 feet high, studded with towers. Another terrace, then the magnificent inner wall. The main wall, nearly 40 feet high, up to 16 feet thick, reinforced by 96 massive towers over 60 feet tall. Towers housed powerful projectile weapons, catapults, ballistae. Imagine approaching that triple-layered behemoth. For over a millennium, they repelled attackers, Avars, Arabs, Bulgars, Rus. They protected libraries and monasteries full of classical knowledge. While Western Europe fragmented, Constantinople remained a beacon. They were the shield of the Western world. Construction used a layered technique, limestone blocks, bands of brick and mortar. This gave immense strength and flexibility. The walls could bend rather than break during earthquakes. Their invincibility ended in 1453. Mehmed the Conqueror arrived with a new weapon, the super cannon, engineered by Orban. These bronze guns hurled massive stone balls. After a 53-day bombardment, the ramparts were breached. The fall sent shockwaves across Europe and ushered in gunpowder warfare. Today, the ruins still encircle old Istanbul, weathered and crumbling yet awe-inspiring, a silent monument to a lost empire. Number 1. The Sacsayhuaman Walls. For our final and most astonishing wall, we travel high into the Andes Mountains of Peru, to a place of mystery and wonder. Towering above the ancient Inca capital of Cusco are the walls of Sacsayhuaman. This is not a wall in the conventional sense of a long linear barrier. It is a colossal three-tiered zigzag fortress, a structure so massive and so perfectly constructed that it seems to defy the laws of physics and the limits of its builder's technology. It is, without a doubt, one of the most awe-inspiring megalithic sites on the planet. The walls are built from enormous blocks of andesite, a type of volcanic rock quarried from miles away. What makes Sacsayhuaman so mind-blowing is the sheer size of these stones. Many weigh over 100 tons, with the largest estimated at over 200 tons, the weight of more than 100 cars. How the Inca, a civilization that had no iron tools, no wheels, and no written language, managed to quarry, transport, and lift these behemoths into place remains one of archaeology's greatest enigmas. The precision of the stonework is even more astounding. The massive boulders are fitted together with such accuracy that not even a single sheet of paper can be inserted between them. This is not simple block-on-block construction. The stones are irregularly shaped, with multiple corners and complex interlocking faces, fitting together like a gigantic three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. This technique, known as polygonal masonry, gives the walls immense seismic resistance, a crucial feature in this earthquake-prone region. When the Spanish conquistadors first arrived in the 16th century, they were utterly dumbfounded by Sacsayhuaman. They could not comprehend how such a structure could have been built by the primitive people they were conquering. Their chronicles are filled with a sense of disbelief and awe, with some attributing its construction to demons or giants, unable to accept that it was the product of human ingenuity. They subsequently dismantled parts of the fortress to build their own colonial churches and houses in Cusco. Yet the foundations were simply too massive to destroy. To stand before these walls today is a truly humbling experience. You are forced to confront the limits of our own understanding. This is why Sacsayhuaman takes our top spot. From the winding dragon of China to the enigmatic puzzles of the Inca, we have journeyed across the globe and through the annals of time. We have seen that these great walls are so much more than defensive barriers of stone and earth. They are the grand, enduring diaries of humanity, each one telling a unique story of power, fear, belief, division. They are lasting reminders of human ambition, testaments to our incredible ability to shape the world around us, for better or for worse. These structures reveal our deepest instincts, the need to protect our communities, to define our identities, and to leave a mark that will outlast our own fleeting lives. Which of these colossal walls impressed you the most? Was it the unbelievable scale of the Great Wall of China, or the mind-bending mystery of Sacsayhuaman? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and remember to keep exploring the wonders of our incredible world.